After his wife went after the Intercontinental Championship, CM Punk is looking to be next in line for the World Heavyweight title, but Rollins tells Punk that he has to deal with Cody Rhodes, and not just that, but also he tells him that even after Crown Jewel, he won't be next in line. And brawls take place on Monday Night Raw, and Jimmy Uso tries to come to the aid of CM Punk, but it's not enough. And also Jey Uso and LA Knight are not able to do that because they are having a rivalry with themselves. And the next week, Jimmy Uso approaches Jey in the backstage to ask him about the same thing. Why didn't he come to help them? And as expected, Jey Uso is continuing to act differently. Uso, why didn't you come out there last week? We needed you against the Vision. Uso, listen, what should I listen to? I came to Raw because you were in trouble. I wasn't thinking about myself. I came here to save you, and now you're stepping back against the Vision to leave me alone and getting beaten down by those wild animals. Oh, really? You came here for me? Then why are you teaming up with CM Punk tonight, huh? First, it was LA Knight, and now it is CM Punk. You came here to Raw for me, but you were the one that forgot who you came here for. And last week, I didn't come to help because I was fighting with LA Knight. Something that is way more important than playing hero for you and your tag team fantasies. As a result, I got a match against him at Crown Jewel. Jimmy doesn't know what to say in disbelief, and Jey realizes that and says, "Look, Jim, I do my thing when it matters to me. And this matters. You can go and enjoy your little showdown with Punk. Just remember who you actually came to Raw for." Just like we heard from the Usos, there's a tag team match on Monday Night Raw between CM Punk and Jimmy Uso against the Vision. Punk and Jimmy are getting the upper hand, but eventually it's Paul Heyman who appears on the apron and distracts the referee, so Bronson Reed would be able to take out CM Punk behind the ref's back, and as he returns, he sees Braun Breaker spearing Jimmy Uso in half to get this massive W. Another big tag team win for the Vision, but as we move on, another story that we should pay attention to is Jey Uso's feud with LA Knight, because Jey Uso is standing in the middle of the ring with a steel chair in his hand and is calling out the megastar. And LA Knight himself comes out with a steel chair of his own in his hands, and he enters the ring so the brawl could start. They both attempt a chair shot, and LA Knight is the one who gets it first, and is stomping Jey Uso rapidly in the corner, following it up with the BFT face first on the steel chairs. And as the crowd are cheering for LA Knight, we see Jey Uso busted open again. LA Knight leaves, but what he's done to Jey Uso will make things even worse. Because later that night in the trainer's room, Jey Uso is being treated by WWE's medical team, where his twin Jimmy reaches him out to check on him, and we find out that the wound on his face was a big one that is pissing Jey Uso off. Jey, you okay? Okay? You really think I'm okay? Don't you see this? I just got planted down on a steel chair, Jimmy. A steel chair. Do you even know how that feels? Uso, calm down. Why are you screaming like that? I know it hurts. I know it's bad. But that's why I'm here. I came to check on you, Jey. I came because I care. Care, huh? Don't talk to me about care, Jimmy. You still were dealing with your own fantasy story while I was getting beaten down, being busted open for the second time. Hold on, Uso. Hold on. Just clarify for me, what should I do? Last week, you tell me that you're gonna do your own thing and don't want to get involved in the Vision thing. Now this week, I'm here to check on you because you're hurt and you're telling me that I should have been there to help you against your own thing. You think dealing with the World Heavyweight title stuff is something that I don't get it? You don't get it, Jey. I've sacrificed a lot. I've missed matches. I've missed opportunities. Put myself in your corner so you wouldn't face everything alone. That's what it is about. Not heroics, not shows. I was doing that because I wanted to be a good brother. Because you were the one who mattered to me. Something you forgot about. It seems for the first time in a while, Jey Uso is finally calming down. And Jimmy continues. I went through all that. Risked all that. Because you're my brother. Because family comes first. Always. Day one. You were telling me that I've forgotten that. You were telling me that I came here for the wrong person. You were telling me that I forgot who I came here for. But I guess we both know who actually forgot who their family is. Now it's time for Crown Jewel, and the megastar LA Knight is gonna face Jey Uso once again, this time free from the bronze. And at some point, where LA Knight pushes Jey Uso towards the turnbuckle, it gets exposed accidentally. Its pad is gone, but the match continues as the Australia crowd loves it, cheering for both men, yeah, and yeet chants as these two men are trading punches in the middle of the ring. But these two men have become bitter rivals through the past month, and because of that, Jey Uso wants to use the exposed turnbuckle intentionally. But LA Knight is not letting him as he counters. Afterwards, the referee sees that the exposed turnbuckle may cause some shenanigans, so he goes to fix it. And that is the exact same time that Jey Uso has landed the splash, and the ref arrives a bit late for the count, so that leads to LA Knight kicking out of the Uso splash. And Jey Uso knows that he had the match won. He beat LA Knight, but there was no referee to count it. So he's arguing with the referee, and that gives the opening for LA Knight to deliver a blunt force trauma from behind. And that's it. A 1-2-3 as LA Knight is getting this win over Jey Uso. He somehow got his revenge from the match on Monday Night Raw, but on the other side of things, Seth Rollins has become 2025's Crown Jewel Champion. The World Heavyweight Champion beats Cody Rhodes for the Crown Jewel Championship, and on the following episode of Monday Night Raw in Australia, we have a very special edition of the Grayson Waller Effect, hosted by the Aussie icon himself, Grayson Waller, and his guests are the new Crown Jewel Champion and his faction, Seth Rollins and The Vision. And another home country favorite, Bronson Reed, is also met with loud cheers from his people. But we find out that Paul Heyman has a big announcement to make, but before he could say anything, the best in the world himself, CM Punk, arrives and interrupts the Oracle. CM Punk is here, but Grayson Waller doesn't want that, so he says, Wait, cut this music. Cut his stupid music. I don't want my show to be ruined. This is a very special edition of the Grayson Waller. He's also interrupted by Jimmy Uso. He super kicks him in the face and CM Punk enters the ring as well, and the brawl begins. CM Punk and Jimmy Uso are fighting with the bronze, but Seth Rollins is the important factor of this brawl, as he's the reason that the Vision is getting the upper hand, because even though CM Punk manages to take him down, he gets speared and tsunami'd by Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, and Jimmy Uso is no different, a spear and a tsunami for him as well. And this time, Seth Rollins once more. He grabs a steel chair, puts it in place, and wants to stomp Jimmy's head onto it. He is back. The OTC Roman Reigns is here in Australia. He returns, and he returns for revenge. Braun Breaker leaves the ring and wants to spear him in the middle of his way, but he gets speared by the Tribal Chief himself. Roman Reigns, after laying out Braun Breaker in the middle of the ramp, comes after Bronson Reed. He takes him down as well, and then he turns around and sees the man that he has been waiting too long to finally meet. For the first time since the Raw after WrestleMania 40, these two men are confronting one another, and it's not just a confrontation, it's a brawl. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins are trading punches in the middle of the ring, where Roman Reigns gets the upper hand and follows it up with a Superman punch. Seth is down, and Roman Reigns wants the crowd to stand on their feet, and they do, and they give him one of the loudest roars before the spear. Roman Reigns is back, and the odds are even. But on the next episode of Monday Night Raw, we find out from a conversation between Adam Pearce and Jimmy Uso that a War Games match has been made official for Survivor Series. It's gonna be The Vision and another member that they have to find against Jimmy Uso, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and a fourth man that they also need for their team. But just like we did, Roman Reigns found it out as well. And he's here in the main event segments of Monday Night Raw, clarifying everything that he will never, ever team up with CM Punk again after what happened last year at Survivor Series. And the story continued to go on to WrestleMania, leading him to lose his wise man. But Jimmy Uso interrupts him and tries to convince him to compete in this War Games match because they have no other choice. The match is already official, and they need to work with one another if they want to take the Vision down. But Roman Reigns still refuses to. He's not willing to lose anything else because of CM Punk after that whole favor thing that happened last year. But as Jimmy Uso and Roman Reigns are talking to each other in the middle of the ring, they are being attacked by the Vision. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker are coming after Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso, and they take them down. But the problem is, this time it's not only the Bronze, because after a spear to Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso being sent out of the ring by Bronson Reed, Seth Rollins enters the frame, and he wants to stomp Roman Reigns to take him out again. But here comes the save. The members of the Division are stared at the ringside because they see CM Punk here with a steel chair in hand. But there's still 3. CM Punk can't do anything about it. Well, maybe they can, because Jimmy Uso returns and super kicks Braun Breaker. Bronson Reed tries to take him down. Meanwhile, CM Punk is throwing a chair in the middle of the ring as Seth Rollins catches it. But CM Punk takes advantage of this time wasted by Seth Rollins and dives with a double axe handle. Jimmy also manages to come down off Bronson Reed's shoulders, and Roman Reigns spears him to save Jimmy as well. And then he makes eye contact with CM Punk. He doesn't want to team up with him, but the match is already made official and they're brawling next to one another. But maybe this brawl was the only scene that Roman Reigns was fighting in it with CM Punk. Maybe he's not willing to compete inside the War Game structure with CM Punk as his teammate, because he leaves CM Punk and even Jimmy Uso in the middle of the ring. But the next week, Jimmy Uso and CM Punk are talking with each other in the backstage, and they're talking about how they can figure things out for War Games. Jimmy, let me make something clear. The only thing I care about is the vision. Nothing else. Alliances, friendships, whatever. That's not my problem. I get that, Punk, but Roman, he's not exactly on the same page. He doesn't trust you after what happened last year. You remember that, right? So he does have the right to be mad at you. Yeah, I remember. Roman's got his reasons, his pride, whatever, but I don't like to team up with him either. We all are put in this War Games match, and we have no other choice but to fight the Vision. And all the things that's going through between me and Roman, that doesn't change the fact that the Vision needs to be dealt with. You tell your cousin that he needs to figure things out like a man. Next week, face me and we will talk it out. But if he refuses, fine. I don't need him. I'll still fight the Vision. I don't have problem being beaten down. I've been beaten down a lot of times. But I know you and I know your spirit. And I know you're not stepping back either. So that means if Roman's not going to show up, you're going to get beaten down as well. Alright, I'll tell him. And even if Roman is not going to decide to show up, you and I will make sure the Vision regrets stepping in the ring. Another man that Jimmy Uso meets in the backstage the same night is his twin Jey Uso, who's still dealing with LA Knight after that controversial loss at Crown Jewel, and their conversation is interesting as well. Jay, I need you to consider something. The War Games match. We need a 4th man. You could be the one to even the odds against the Vision. War Games? I would like to, Jimmy, but I've got my own problems. I've got LA Knight at Survivor Series. This is gonna be the last time. It's gonna be a street fight that I asked for, and it's gonna be an end to all of this. Nothing else matters until I finish that clown. Jay, come on, I know we haven't been on the same page for quite some time, but this isn't just another brawl. War Games isn't a simple fight. It's bigger. Everything is on the line. Our bodies are on the line. I'm in it. Roman's in it. Why don't you want to come and help? You can just walk away from this. Oos, I said no. I fight my battles my way. You forget that already. No, I haven't forgotten that. I forgot that you've started to change. But the fact is, I'm realizing that you're not even starting to change. I was wrong. You have changed. You've become a man I never knew. You think you're stronger, but you're also colder, more selfish, and hell, you're not even sounding like a Roman anymore. You're sounding like a self-centered coward. Jey Uso gets infuriated. He's just looking Jimmy dead in the eyes, and Jimmy says, I get it. You want to finish Knight. Fine. But know this, brother. The man you've become. He's capable of so much more than you even realize. You better change your attitude, or we're done. Now, after all these past weeks, I'd rather be beaten down while I'm alone than to ask to fight next to this version of you. Figure this damn thing out, or we're not gonna need your help anymore. Jimmy Uso is having a busy night. CM Punk told him that he better tell Roman Reigns that he doesn't need him to fight against the Vision. But if he wants to actually fight against the Vision as well, they have to figure things out. So Jimmy Uso meets Roman Reigns in his locker room, and Jimmy delivers Punk's message. Dear Jimmy, you've been running around all night. Do you think we don't see it? Talking, planning, trying to play the hero. But none of it was worth a damn, my friend. You really think you can outsmart the Vision? That you, Roman, Punk, your little team has a chance? I've already laid a massive plan in motion and none of you are ready for it. Not Roman, not Punk, not you, and not even your brother. I'm ensuring that when War Games arrives, your little plans crumble. Everything you're counting on, none of that will work. And trust me, the outcome will favor those who understand the game far better than you ever will. The following week, we see Paul Heyman in Adam Pearce's office looking for a little bit of TV time next week, which is in Boston. But Adam Pearce tells him that he has already a stacked match card, including a match between Jimmy Uso and Bronson Reed, as well as having John Cena's last appearance in Boston, and he doesn't have any free time left for next week. Which makes Paul Heyman frustrated because he wants to finally make the announcement he wanted to make in Australia, where the enemies of the division didn't let him to. But on the same night, we have the OTC, Roman Reigns, arriving on Raw as he wants to stand like a man in front of CM Punk as these two men want to talk to one another and figure things out for the War Games match they have for Survivor Series. And Jimmy Uso is also standing in between them in the middle of the ring to keep the peace between these two men, and it's interesting to hear from these two. Roman Reigns, listen, we don't have to like each other. I don't like you. Hell, we don't even have to trust each other. This year's completely different. They put us in that team. Yeah, we want to fight against the Vision, but we don't want to fight next to ourselves, so it's not our choice. But it also means that because the match is already made official, we've got a bigger target. The Vision, that's it. All I am saying is fighting one night, one fight. And it is that simple. Are you in or are you out? You know, I don't do favors anymore, CM Punk. Especially not you. So don't expect me to hold your back or even watch yours. I don't need you to do anything for me, okay? And even last year, that didn't have anything to do with you. It was a deal between me and Paul Heyman. But forget all that. We just want you to show up and fight, and that's it. After War Games, we can settle our score however we want. I don't care, but right now, we should focus on the Vision. I said it is that simple. I don't know if your cousin delivered exactly the same message I told him to, because I told him to tell you that I don't need you to fight at War Games. I don't have a problem to be beaten down at War Games. I've already suffered from a lot throughout my career. What happens when you step aside is that your own cousin is gonna get beaten down because I know that he's not gonna step back either. Let's say you don't want anything from me. How can I trust you? You don't have to trust me, and I don't have to trust you either because actually, I don't trust you even standing in this ring right now. We're stepping into this fight with everything being on the line. We have no other choice. I'm saying this for the last time. Are you in or are you out? One night. We fight together. Nothing more, nothing less. And I'll make sure when it's over, we will deal with whatever's left. Good. But don't forget, I'll be watching every move you make, so you better don't make any mistakes. Raw in Boston. John Cena's last appearance in front of a hometown crowd. He thanks everyone. He celebrates with each and every person in the arena. And as always, he has some motivational and appreciation speeches. But as he's having his fun time, one last time.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman.
The greatest of all time. Great to meet you again, John Cena. But why are you wasting everyone's time? You didn't give the fans the farewell tour they wanted. You just showed up, wasted our time by talking, and you're doing the exact same thing tonight, while people like me have much more important things to deal with. I've been trying to make my announcement for weeks now, but they were not letting me. And even this week, they didn't give me the time. So, Mr. Cena, I apologize for this. The greatest of all time is speared by Braun Breaker. And it's not only Breaker, but there's also Bronson Reed who's diving with the tsunami on the 17-time world champion. He steals John Cena's TV time, and Paul Heyman finally wants to make his announcement. But they have another thing to worry about. Jimmy Uso is gonna face Bronson Reed later that night, but that doesn't mean they're gonna stand in the back while the Vision is in the middle of the ring. They take the bronze out of the ring, and CM Punk and Jimmy Uso are standing tall. But we move on, and now it's time for the main event. Jimmy Uso versus Bronson Reed, one-on-one. We know that CM Punk is here in the arena, and he arrives to distract the referee. At the same time, Bronson Reed is looking for a tsunami, but he's knocked off the top rope by Roman Reigns. This came out of nowhere. No one expected Roman to be here tonight, And that gives Jimmy the chance to spear Bronson Reed, a taste of the Vision's own medicine. And Braun Breaker does come out to help Bronson Reed, but it's a bit too late because Jimmy has already landed the splash and he's getting the big win. But the brawl doesn't end. Braun Breaker is still demolishing CM Punk until Roman Reigns saves him. He smashes his head onto the barricade and sends him back in the ring, and it's now 3-on-2. They take out the bronze. But here comes the World Heavyweight Champion dragging CM Punk out of the ring. He tosses him towards the announce table as well as the barricade. Then he enters the ring with Jimmy Uso and Roman Reigns standing there. But as expected, he does nothing until Bronson Reed arrives from behind again to send Jimmy Uso out of the ring. But Roman Reigns does the same thing with himself. But during this time, Seth Rollins picked up a steel chair and recreated the classic Shield chair shot. And now he's putting Roman Reigns in position as he wants to stomp him right on the steel chair to put an end to this alliance once and for all. But they have backup. The newest enemy that the Vision made for themselves, John Cena, is here coming after the World Heavyweight Champion. He sends him into the corner to punch him badly, rapidly in the face. Braun Breaker tries to save the World Heavyweight Champion, and he delivers a suplex to Cena from behind, but Roman Reigns saves Cena by a spear of his own. Bronson Reed returns to the ring, but is caught with a super kick from Jimmy, and he's sent out too. And Cena and Roman are now confronting one another, face to face, two of the greatest of all time. But before they waste too much time, John Cena delivers an attitude adjustment to Braun Breaker, and Punk returns. He wants a GTS to Rollins, but Paul Heyman saves him and drags him onto the apron, and they stand at ringside looking at the ring that has the star power maximized. We have Jimmy Uso, we have Roman Reigns, we have CM Punk, and now we have John Cena. And Cena says, "Damn it, you don't even let me enjoy my last time in front of my own crowd. But you know what? I don't have any plans for Survivor Series. And I know these three men need a fourth member. So I guess we all know what I'm about to say. I will be the fourth man for War Games." John Cena is going to be the fourth man against the Vision at War Games. But the next week, the Vision finally gets the time they want in the middle of the ring for the important announcement Paul Heyman wants to finally make about the future of his group. The important announcement that everyone has been waiting to finally hear it is gonna be made tonight. Didn't you ask yourselves that why the War Games match become official this soon? Right after Crown Jewel, it was announced that this match is gonna take place. That's because I asked our respectful general manager to do so. And I did that because we have Seth Rollins, we have Braun Breaker, we have Bronson Reed, and we have our fourth man, we had our fourth man ready at that time, but they didn't give us the chance to announce it. Really, OG? Okay, then tell us who it is, because I don't really care who that is gonna be, and it doesn't actually matter who that is gonna be, because the team that I'm part of has the very best superstars on the planet in it. The other members of his team are arriving one by one. First of all, it's Roman Reigns. Then John Cena arrives through the crowd, and CM Punk does the same thing. Punk and Cena make their ways to the middle of the ring, but the Bronze doesn't have time to wait. They leave the ring and they go after Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso. And the brawl begins at ringside. Reigns and Uso versus Reed and Breaker. Massive brawl is taking place as they're getting the upper hand. And also Seth Rollins is being circled by John Cena, who took off his shirt and hat and is ready for a fight. And the best in the world, CM Punk. Seth Rollins has nowhere to run. He has nowhere to go. But keep your eyes at ringside, because Braun Breaker eventually manages to spear Jimmy Uso, but Roman Reigns tosses him to the barricade. But before he could do anything, Bronson Reed dives on him to take him down. Then he comes after CM Punk, tries to help Seth Rollins, but Punk is aware and counters his attack. At ringside, he uses the barricade to take Bronson Reed down. But Seth Rollins takes advantage of this and dives through the ropes to take down CM Punk himself. But as he's taunting to the crowd, as he thinks he has the upper hand, John Cena leaves the ring and joins him at ringside. He sends him back in the ring, and for one last time in Madison Square Garden, John Cena does the famous combination of shoulder blocks spin out suplex, and the 5-knuckle shuffle. Seth Rollins is in position for John Cena for his finishing maneuver, the Attitude Adjustment. The fourth man of Seth Rollins' team is here. The man that Paul Heyman was talking about is none other than the Beast, Brock Lesnar, and is delivering an F5 to John Cena. And not just Cena, to clarify that because of Paul Heyman, he is the fourth member of the Vision side. He has an F5 for Jimmy Uso, and he picks up the steel steps to slam it right to CM Punk's face to take these two men out at ringside. But in the middle of the ring, Brock Lesnar confronts a man who he main evented numerous WrestleManias against, and that is Roman Reigns. This is massive, but Brock is still the better man because Paul Heyman grabbed Roman Reigns' foot and distracted him, so another F5, this time for Roman Reigns. The squad of both teams for War Games cannot be more stacked, but this is only the beginning of this war that is thought to be endless, but it may end thanks to Heyman and thanks to the Beast.